The following is a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. For more information, please visit our website at dallasgenealogy.org.
You know, I really, if you could join me, a big part of this is such a special undertaking. By the way, I'm Barry. Barry with a B, as we've been liking to say today. And I'm the current president of the Dallas Genealogical Society. But what is so important is that we as a team and as a family come together. Of course, this is not our normal setting. We had, thanks to a parade in downtown, we are here on a special field trip, if you will. But this is absolutely the work of our incredible technology team who can make all of this happen. So for those of you, if you could just give me a big thank you to Tony, to Todd, to Melissa, to all the folks who make this work. And the fact that the team at the library also are so gracious and helpful in making this happen. Who would have thought 70 years ago, you know, as we turned 70 at this meeting, to think that, you know, to come to all of this technology, and I feel like we're almost like in an episode of the Jetsons, that, you know, little did you know we're going to teleport you back to the other library. We having fun?
You know any jokes?
I do know a few. Oh, did I make it hard? I'm so sorry.
No, not you.
All good. But again, even with technology and a different location and a different spot, somehow the majority of us still have smiles on our faces. It must be the incredible coffee that Betty and crew have provided for us as always. Once again, it's always a good thing. So we're making this work. But what brings us together today and in this location is to celebrate the Genealogical Society of Dallas being here, DGS, for 70 years, which is truly incredible. And my role this morning is just to share some brief business, our typical stuff that we like to talk about, which you will see behind the screen in just a moment. Let's hope. Maybe. If not, I can wing it. We're doing okay. Because again, what all of these meetings you'll find, we meet our general meetings are the first Saturday of every month. And of course, they're normally on the 6th floor, the 7th. I like in my head to think it's the 6th. I don't know why. So we meet at the 7th floor of the main library location, but you can always find our meetings, our minutes, and everything about the organization. Again, thanks to this incredible website that Todd and Tony have put together for us. And with that, you can find where our meeting minutes are. You can find out ways to get engaged and involved. You can also find out ways to become a member, which is a really easy way to give back to the community, knowing that the dollars of our organization help to support our incredible Dallas library. See, I'm already to slide 4. Just about. From there, we also, one of the projects that's super important that we do is to share our finances every month. And I could actually pull that up on my phone if we couldn't get it to run. But fiscally, I am also here to tell you we are sound, that we've been paying our bills, and that we have $100,000 in investments, 3 of which are CDs that are at Chase Bank. And the 4th one is with our new checking account and our new account at Texas Republic Bank, who have been incredibly great to work with as well.
Is that this?
See, look at that.
Just in time for the finish.
Hey, just about.
No.
Nope. Did I touch the wrong button?
I don't think.
Great, I broke it. So should you want to learn more about how to connect with us, again, our website, and to be able to see our minutes, our website is super friendly and super easy to use. And I'm going to move along. Thank you for asking. It's dallasgenealogy.org. Yes, I'm good, Todd. How are you?
Good, great.
This is what we didn't realize is that we were going to do a comedy routine today. you're, this way we're going to introduce all the faces of the board as we go. The people who try to make it behind the scenes. It's good? Okay. Am I hitting the right button? That's the next question. Okay, so the best part is these get very, very specific. So we have like all the drop downs of what you need to do, going to events, looking at where we are in May, and then we get there. So here's where I left off. Here's where we are financially. Again, we've opened a second checking account that helped us with our that's what helped us with our Texas Republic Bank CDs. Absolutely, as an organization, we are sound. But always looking for your help and support. So let's not forget that. Speaking of which, one of the things that I love to announce every month is this incredible project that the Dallas Genealogical Society has put together, which is indexing all of the graves in Dallas. I'm going to go off script just for a half second, because why not? It's kind of part of the day. In my other life, I am the executive director of the Dallas Jewish Historical Society. And recently, one of our community members, who is part of the Jewish war veterans, said, we are absolutely at a challenge. We want to put flags on the graves, but we have no idea how to do it. They have lost touch with the names of our World War I vets and some of our other Jewish veterans who deserve that flag. And I said, we got you. And I turned them to the Dallas Genealogical Society website and said, here's why we're doing what we're doing, and here's how easy this search is. And in fact, just to give you this is my, exciting, let's do our exciting total. We have records that we've been adding. It's very easy to do, although you'll notice I am not one of the names on the screen, which is a goal for me for 2026. But we have there's been 42,055 records in the cemetery database. What we've done is 42.5% of that, which means that there's only 24,179 to go. But every month that I get to come up here and say what an incredible job our volunteers are doing, this is the most exciting part of my month. So you'll see Heather Hall is currently leading with 5,300 records, and this Tony Hansen guy is trying to do it twice because he has it under both Tony and Anthony. We'll give him the credit for 363 records. Yes, Sue? Oh, that's a great point. How many of the people in the... Yes, they are. That's right. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that, because as you'll see, I am so proud of Donald Hinson, who has been getting some extra credit because in the last 3 days and in the last 7 days, he's put in 27 records. I almost emailed you to tell you how proud I was of you. But I was working on this late, I got the text last night that I was doing this. But as you can see, in the last 30 days, some very significant numbers have been coming through. So a big shout out to Susan Younger, Julie Leon, Megan Dobbins, Donald Hinson, Heather Hall, Amy Holbrook, Pat Hernandez, and Tony Hansen, otherwise AKA Anthony Hansen, who has been doing an amazing job, and the commitment that you have for this digging into history and being part of our Index Heroes. Once again, who would have thought 70 years ago that this would be the way as we digitize our community's records? But this is the world we live in, and our Genealogical Society has grasped and taken on technology with gusto. So again, how to do this? We have the way to make that. You go to Get Involved, volunteer sign up. And then from there, it walks you through how to be able to go to our indexing project. Now, this is a little of a sad note. There's some upcoming events. And one thing that we want to make sure to tell you about is that the Mesquite Historical and Genealogical Society is having their final in-person meeting. We want to do what we can to support them and encourage, if anyone is online or if you're here that are part of this organization, know that our friends of us here at the Dallas Genealogical Society want to do our best to support you and always be part of our greater genealogical community. But they're having their final meeting is a potluck that's at the Mesquite Library on December 11th at 6 p.m. We also want to mark your calendars for the Dallas History Conference, which is at the library on Saturday, January 31st, and the big spring seminar that will be held on Saturday, March 28th. Again, more information on our website, etc. We're very excited about our SIG meetings. And I was talking to Bernard. I'm really convinced that part of this is to challenge my German background and my German speaking skills, because Bärbel Johnson is one of, thank you, I think somewhere my German professor is yovoing me, is truly one of the greatest specialists. She retired after 32 years as a research specialist at the Family Search Library in Salt Lake. She is incredibly well versed, and she will be speaking to the group on January 10th at 10:30. Again, more information, please check the website. Two other incredible groups. Next month, I'll catch you up on what's going on with the some McGowan records and how we've turned this into, I'll just be a tease about that. But the group that does incredible work for the African American SIG group is December 20th at 2 p.m. And then the Jewish Special Interest group, still meeting. It's Monday, December 8th. Maybe that's where we noticed on the website it said January 8th. And the other big thing is that the address is wrong. It's at 7900 North Haven. So it's in the Aaron family JCC, not in the building next door, which is the campus of the Federation. Okay, I'm going to take a breath now. And with that, gratefully turn this over. I'm trying to remember if I'm turning this over to Tony. Again, our past president, phenomenal volunteer, Anthony Hansen.
You may not applaud after if I don't get this going right. 70 years or maybe 95 years, depending on who you want to believe. So the society actually got its start in 1930. There was a group of people that organized to form a Dallas Genealogical Society and actually got this thing off the ground. The first president was E.B. Comstock, who was a Dallas high school principal here. And so they actually did have their charter meeting in 1930. The meetings at that time were held in the original Dallas Public Library. That was one of the Carnegie libraries that was built back in 1901 at a cost of $50,000. It might take a little bit more than that now. The entire collection fit on the first floor, and then they had an auditorium and some other stuff up on the second floor. But society activities just kind of faded. And as we were doing our research, we saw these original articles in the 30s through about 1933, and then nothing. It just kind of faded. Probably a lot of good reasons for that. A little thing called depression was going on at that time. Dust storm affected, not just Texas, but the entire United States. World War II emerged, and then we had the Korean War. And so it just wasn't a time where people were really into doing community type things. But the 50s, people kind of started getting into it, in a big way, and things started happening again. They happened in library. They decided that they needed a new library system, so they tore down the original Carnegie one, moved the entire collection over into Union Station, which was probably the only building in the city of Dallas that had strong enough floors to support the 10,000 books or so that they had at the time. A very important consideration. Margaret Pratt was working at the library. We, as an organization, gave her $50. That's like $600 in today's dollars, and she very foolishly spent it all on one document, on a Virginia Huguenots publication, which, if you go look at our catalog, is still being used today. In fact, I was just talking with somebody who refers to this, Emily Richardson, the president of the Texas State Society, said she uses this document all the time. So our gift of 70 years is still doing a lot of good for researchers. The new group kind of got really started again in 1954. They were meeting at the library, at the YMCA, because the library wasn't ready yet. Comstock was still involved. He was the temporary finance chair committee. And John Plath Green was elected as the first president of the new society. And that's kind of the society we all know and love. And that's kind of the date that we mark from the beginning of our society. The new library opened about the same time. Again, it was in the same location as the old one that had been torn down, and this replaced it. Margaret Pratt at this time was named the head of the Texas History and Genealogy section. We've got some lovely pictures thanks to some of the research that Sue and that Stephanie did for us of the interior of the old library, which I think it looks really kind of pretty cool. But nice. So our charter, November 30th, 1955, all of the original members of the society signed it, and we were off and officially running and registered with the state of Texas. Our logo's changed quite a bit over the years. In fact, we didn't have a logo until about 1963 or 1964, I think. So we managed to go 8 or 9 years without having one, and then suddenly went, got to have a logo. Changed a bit, but what hasn't changed really much is our mission. It's remained pretty consistent. We said it a bit differently over the years, but it's remained remarkably consistent in what we think is a priority and the things that we as an organization are doing. So, back then we wanted to foster an interest in genealogy and local history. And if you look at our mission statement today, it says educate by creating, fostering, and maintaining an interest in genealogy and family history. Their second point was to provide research facilities in connection with genealogical material at the Dallas Public Library and other local resources. And today it's to assist and support the genealogy and history division of the J. Eric Johnson's Central Library in Dallas. They also wanted to concentrate upon the collection of genealogical, biological, and vital records of Dallas. And today we are collecting, preserving, copying, and indexing information related to Dallas County and its early history. Their main point, the fourth main point, was to employ a competent genealogist to aid members in tracing of their lineages, and we've got that in spades. We have an incredible staff, and so we're very proud of them and happy of them. So what are we doing now? What have we done lately, and where are we going? Well, in terms of education, we have a big community outreach program. So somebody wants to have an introduction program, an intro to genealogy, we have an intro to DNA program. We do this throughout the community. We participate in other community organizations. Oops, back up. We communicate in other events. We got mentioned the event at the library in January. So we do this throughout the year. Anytime anybody's interested in letting us have a table someplace or invites us to come speak, we do that to promote the art of genealogy and promote interest in it. We've already mentioned all the special interest groups that we have. We have 5 of them that are actively working right now, meeting throughout the month on a variety of topics. We've always had a strong history of providing seminars. Nobody else, those aren't that funny. Look, well, maybe they are. But we've had a strong history of that, and we continue that. We still have 3 seminars a year. That's one of our primary fundraising platforms for us. It's also an opportunity to bring in nationally known speakers and help our members and our guests just get smarter about what we're doing and how we do it. As you know, we have general meetings, no secret there. And sometimes the technology even works. Sometimes even better. Most of our meetings are hybrid, which means that when it all works well, we have all of you here in the room with us, joined by all the people that are on Zoom. We also then record the meetings after fact and make them available for anybody that wants to watch the recordings after the meeting. For the presenters, we do that with their permission. Some do, some don't, but we try to encourage that when we can. A lot of people lament, the introduction of technology, but when you look back a bit, I went back to 2010, our meetings were averaging about 50 people per meeting. Last year, if you look at the in-person people and the recordings and the people participating in Zoom, we're reaching about 220 people per meeting. So for us, technology is working pretty well. We have a much wider base of people that are participating in our meetings, and that's what it's all about. We want to share our enthusiasm and our knowledge for this wonderful thing. Yeah, the question was, do we archive the meetings? And yes, they're all available on our website. All the general meetings are recorded. Many of the recordings are. Again, that's with the speaker's permission. Preservation is an important part of what we do. We do have all of our archives at the Dallas Public Library on the 7th floor there, so they are our official designated archive for all of our society records. We also have a long history of publications, and so we've had newsletters ever since we had an organization. We've had journals, we had quarterlies, we had something called Pegasus, a lot of stuff. We've done a lot of things about records, particularly cemeteries. And so we published a lot of those things over the years in the form of physical books. What we've done, though, is moved away from some of the then state-of-the-art technology, microfiche and microfilm, into the world of the web. And what we've done is we've taken all of our publications, we've digitized them and placed them on the portal to Texas History. And then with one of the digitization projects that we did, we went back and indexed every one of those publications. So basically the table of contents, And then we linked each one of those articles back to the portal to Texas history. So you can now go to our website, you can find a publication, you can see an article of interest, and you can Google it and find it too. A lot of people do it that way. But if you click on one of those links, it will take you right to the portal of Texas history and show you that document. So our entire collection of all of our publications, with the exception of some other records, we'll get to that in a minute, are available and publicly available to anybody who wants to find them and search for them. We're happy to say that a lot of people do want to hunt and search for them. About a year ago, we were recognized by the portal as being the first genealogy society in there that has information in their collection to reach the 1 million view point. So we've had our records have been viewed. Well, no, hold the applause. That was last year. Yeah. Because actually since then it's actually jumped up. So we're almost up to 1.2 million views, which is I don't believe it still, but the numbers don't lie. So I'm going to believe it. But if you think about that, that's actually kind of amazing. So is this. That's 2,250 times a month over the last 13 months that somebody have viewed something that members of this organization created and made available digitally. And so I know the library would be happy if they had 2,250 patrons coming through every month. We're thrilled to have that many people hitting us on the website and seeing the documents and the things that we have there. So very proud of that. That's 75 a day. Engineer, love numbers. We have a lot of information available in databases. So we mentioned the cemetery database, so we've got several other collections as well. And what we've done is we made this universal search program. So you can go to our website and you can put in any of those fields there, typically a name. It will search across all the 9 collections that we have and highlight which collections that name appears in. So you can just get to that by going to our website, going to the collections and the local records page, and you'll see a link that's on there that will take you to the search engine right there. Our cemetery database indexing project, we've talked about quite a bit. We're adding about Find a Billion and a Billion Graves search or links to the records, as well as information about Oakland Cemetery, which is the largest collection of records that we have. Yes. So our collection is about 42,000 records. They are all kind of the non-commercial, what's the word I'm looking for, Sue? Yeah, the non-perpetual care ones. So the big commercial ones have their own databases and their own collections. These are everything else. So what we've done is, or what we're doing in the process, we're about 42% doing, is adding information like this. So you can go to this particular record, click on that link, and you can see the interment card that is actually up on Family Search, but linked by members of our organization who have volunteered and have made that connection for us. And so our aim is to do that for all of the records in all of the cemetery collection and make all this information available. And again, we talked about where the status on that is. There's another project going on, the McGowan Funeral Home Project, that our African-American group has been working on for many years now. So these records are of an African-American funeral home here in Dallas. Very important because as unfortunate and sad as it is, there was a time in our history when a lot of white funeral homes would not do funerals for Black people, or they would do them in the basement or just treat them as really poorly. The McGowan Funeral Home specialized in funerals for that Black community. That makes this set of records quite interesting, and they're in the possession of the Dallas Public Library. And they're all back on the 8th floor. You can view them if you want to. Now, what the African-American group has done is they've gone through and they've indexed them all. So they've got a record of every file that's in there. You can search that online and you can see what records that they have and then request to go in and view the records and review them in person. They're going back now, and what they're doing is they're digitizing these funeral records. These are interesting little 4-page things that were typically done for a burial. They're scanning them and making them available online. So now if you go and search our database, you will see that little funeral record with the view link down there. You can click on that, and that will bring up the image, which is up on the Dallas Library Recollect system. So that's where the images are being stored. But again, another example of how we are reaching out, partnering with the library and with Family Search and with the portal to kind of make our records connected to what they have to make them more useful to our members and to the people who come to our website. And so, no, it was closed a long time ago. 1995 it was closed. One of our other main focuses is, of course, to support the genealogy and history division of the J.R. Johnson Library. Traditionally, that's been focused on the genealogy department. We have focused, at least historically, on acquisition of microfilms and on books. We've transitioned that a bit more recently into some other things. So we provide equipment, facilities, and access to records as well. So we did fund a capital expansion project that was completed in 1996. We raised about $165,000 to expand and make that facility better suited for those of us that go up there. In 2018, we helped build this heritage lab. We paid for the construction of those glass walls to create that space. We purchased an I2S copybook scanner, which is a fabulous, wonderful scanner. If you've got a lot of stuff to scan, and we've been paying for the maintenance on that once that thing rolled out of warranty. The library has added a lot of other digitization equipment in there. Family Search also has their own copybook scanner, and they're in there copying all of the out of copyright books from the collection and making them available on their website. So it's a wonderful facility available to anybody who takes the effort to walk down to the library and come up to the 8th floor. You don't have to be a Dallas resident. You don't have to have a library card. It's all there. There's a little bit of training they ask you to take, and you can be off and digitizing your stuff. And of course, we have a wonderful staff up there. As a society, we are supporting them by endowing the Box Truck Scholarship. We provide $1,500 a year that the staff can use to attend training like GRIP and SLIG and any of the genealogy conferences that they want to attend. Administered by our great friends at the Friends of the Dallas Public Library, because they figured out how to cut a check and we couldn't quite do that. So we're grateful to them. They handle the funding for us and we're very grateful for that. We also, as a society, are paying the cost of History Geo and newspaperarchives.com, two databases that are available again to patrons up on the 8th floor, and we're providing that very cheerfully and very happily. And of course, we've done lots of books and lots of microfilm over the year. If you go back and look at the newsletters, every year there was a push for this microfilm collection or that microfilm collection or the microfiche, and lots of books since then. And we've done it ever since we've been an organization, and we're continuing it. You can go take a look. We have a webpage dedicated to all of the donations that we've made. And for those of you that don't have really great eyesight, and that total stands at about $829,000 since this organization was formed. So well done, us, and to all that have helped us make that possible. So it's been a fun 70 or 90 years. I'm not sure which yet, but maybe we ought to change our logo and just say, maybe we got started in 1930. I'm not sure. No. People that made the logo say no. I'm getting a thumbs down on that. Thank you all for your support. And now I'm going to ask Sue to come up here and introduce our speaker. This has been a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. If you're already a member, thank you. Your fees have been supporting these and other society activities. If you're not yet a member, please consider joining now. Go to dallasgenealogy.org and click on the membership tab.